Seasons lost. In Austin, I saw, pause. My eyes crawled to a table. Paralyzed by pairwise dice, then attend to this heaven slice of an angel wrapped in skin. Though dice and woes of life, love deprived, look at her vibe. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise, crystal shaded lids, focus reflected. Often mirrors appear quick, ready from ear to ear. Craving and raping the grain, rekindling the flame. Closer she draws near, stay there. Remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, we know our purpose. In paradise, we know what our work is. In paradise, we manifest dreams. In paradise, truth is what you can see.
Boom. Yes, it is. The truth is what you can see. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Unpopular Hour. Of course, I'm your host, Matt Clark. It is, what's today? Tuesday. We were going to be at Georgia's today, but we're going to be there tomorrow. And then tonight we're going to be at Rococo for the Thunder game tonight, the big Thunder game, the NBA Cup Finals. And for you all who don't know what that is, we're going to share a little bit about that. I don't know how the hell you don't know what the NBA Cup is. But here's the NBA Cup tonight. You have the Thunder versus the Bucks and the Thunder. Thunder are the home team in this group because we have the better record, clearly. Well, I guess the Bucks are the home team, it looks like. Looks like the Bucks are the home team. But we have the better record, so I'm not sure exactly how that really works, but it really doesn't matter because I think we're going to handle our business. But the Thunder took care of business against the Mavs, 118-104. Then we had the Rockets, 111-96. And then, of course, the Bucks took care of business against the Magic, and the Magic without Ben Caro and without Franz Wagner, they still gave them all they wanted. And then, of course, the Bucks took care of the Hawks and our guy Trae Young and those guys. But anyway, tonight's going to be an interesting game between the two teams. John, Cup Finals tonight, baby. Yes, sir. What's up, John? John, you missed last night. You weren't on the show last night, brother. Where were you at talking about who was the top players? And we're going to do that today, too. Talk about J-Dub and if he's, because the Thunder are clearly pushing him for an all-star break, playing him more minutes than SJ, which is just ludicrous. I don't know how these guys like this guy as a coach. When you play this guy more than J-Dub, more than SJ, I just don't see it. I really don't get it. I don't get it. Actually, I do, but I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, Cup Finals tonight. The game today. Here's the Thunder game today. Here are the stats on it, John. Sorry I've been out. I'll take your crap. Who you got guarding Giannis tonight? We'll talk about it. I'm going to tell you in just a second, John. Bucks 14-11, Thunder 20-5. The game is at 7:30 tonight on ABC again, so it's a nationally televised game. It's going to be the only NBA game available tonight, so it's going to be really good. I'm excited about it. But anyway, this is what I think. To answer your question, John, here you go. Let me see. John says, J-Dub, just due to his size, don't seem like he'll be on Dame. J-Dub can't guard anybody small. He is a 3-4-5. He can't guard all five positions. He just can't. He can't handle a quick guard. He doesn't have the feet for that. But he can guard the big guy because he does have some weight on him. But I believe that Dort will start out on Giannis. And then when you go to that second lineup, when J-Dub is on the bench, that's when the Thunder are going to be tough because you have J-Dub, you go from Dort to Caruso to Kaysen. Now, Kaysen is a little bit smaller compared to Caruso because Caruso has been playing long enough and he played Chicago, so he's played Giannis, so he knows how to guard Giannis. So that's what I think will happen. And, of course, when Ihart's in the game with J-Dub, I think they'll switch off between those two along with Dort. But I think Dort will primarily he'll play 36 minutes tonight, I would think. I would have Dort, whenever Giannis is on the floor, I'd have Dort on the floor. That's what I would do, period. I'd have him because I would have him going between him and I'd have Dort, Ihart, and Caruso on the floor. Those three guarding him and taking care of business with him. That's what I would do if I was the Thunder tonight. But 5-point favorites. The game has gone up, and that's a lot has to do with the fact of our defense and what we do. And for those of you all who don't know how good we are on defense, here are the stats for the Thunder just to show you how good we really, really, really are. When you look at us, field goal percentage, we're number one. Giving up points, we're number one. 3-point percentage, we're number two. Points in the paint, we're number one, which, of course, that's going to help tonight simply because keeping him out of the paint and keeping their points in the paint down will help us. We're number one in points in the paint. We're number four in steals as far as number one in taking the ball away from the opposing team. We're fourth in blocks. We're number one in turning the opposing team over. And then we're ninth, and then we're number one as far as the opposing team turnovers. So taking care of the ball, we're number one. Turning the ball over for the opposing team, we're number one. Second quarter and fourth quarter, which are your key deals. Here's your second quarter stats, and we are third, only averaging 26.6, giving up 26.6. The fourth, we're only giving up 25.5. Those are the reasons why we are 20-5 right now. And that's the reason why we're doing what we're doing. So, that being said, here's my strategy, quite simply, to guard Giannis. Dort is physical enough to guard him and push him around because I believe our starting lineup will be just what it has been: SGA, Kaysen, SGA, J-Dub, Kaysen, Dort, and Ihart. I think that's our five. Now, when you do that, I think that it's going to be really simple because of the fact that you got J-Dub, you got Dort, J-Dub, and Kaysen. And SJ can guard him a little bit, but he doesn't really have the frame. But he's quick enough with his hands to be able to steal the ball from him as well as Kaysen. Those two will give Giannis problems as far as his ball handling because those two have very long arms and they can get their hands on balls. So does J-Dub, but J-Dub physically can push him around, so does Dort. So they all four have the ability, or all five starters have the ability to switch and be able to guard him. But of those five, SGA and Kaysen are the worst two of those five. Dort, Ihart, J-Dub are the best to guard him, Giannis. But the thing is this. Number one, here are my keys are simple. Number one, you got to keep Giannis out of the lane. Keep him from getting easy baskets. Now he's going to get to the basket because he's one of the best top three players in the NBA in the world. He's going to get to the basket, but you got to limit his opportunities to do so. Second thing is you can't let him defensively disrupt what we do. Okay, we have to be able to score inside and do what we do, but he's a beast inside. Now, here are the advantages that the Thunder have in second keys to the game. Giannis has only played against us, I think, once in the last 3 years. I think it's right. I think he's only played against us once, and he had like 30 whatever against us. So he's only played against us once. So we don't really have a lot of experience playing against him here in Oklahoma City. Another advantage we have, and another key to the game, is the fact that Caruso and Ihart have both played against him. Ihart when he was in New York, and Caruso when he was in Chicago. So the knowledge that they can give our coaching staff, or whoever our defensive coach is, I don't even know who our defensive coach is, but whoever that is, they can give them huge strategy. Plus, they can also help out with the players. Okay, Giannis tends to do this in this spot. So this is film study, and quite frankly, we've had 3 days? 2 days, 3 days, 2 days to study the film, so we should be fine, or I guess 2 days, what sets in Saturday. So we've had Sunday and yesterday, and then you'll watch some film today, but you shoot around a day. So we've had these 2.5 days that we can watch film and know based on what Caruso says, based on what Ihart says. That will give us an advantage right there. So understanding that is another key to the game. The third key to me is our defense being able to make sure the other guys don't get off. Okay, make sure that Middleton doesn't get off. Make sure that Portis Jr. doesn't get off. Make sure that Dame, because Dame is going to do what he does, and then there are the shooters. So AJ Green. So if we can watch those guys and kind of keep those guys corralled, and Lopez as well as hitting threes. So if we can keep Giannis out of the paint, Dame and Giannis they're still gonna do what they do, okay? I mean, they're gonna do what they do. But if we can keep them out of the paint, keep him out of the paint, we can keep Dame kind of corralled. But they're still gonna do what they do. And we can shut down everybody else the perimeter backup players, the Thunder have a chance. Now, the fourth thing is this: we need Isaiah Joe. If he's knocking down threes and then putting pressure on them to do that, because then if Kaysen is knocking down threes and the other guys, our guys are, Caruso's knocking down threes, Dort is knocking down threes. I don't want anybody doing anything other than what they need to do. And the fifth and most important thing is this: SGA needs to be aggressive and come out right away scoring instead of passing off and trying to get everybody else involved. When he scores and he gets going, then it releases everybody else from trying to make a play. I got to make a basket. I got to do this. He releases everybody from doing that. It allows everybody else to just play and not have to try to make a play. You got J-Dub trying to do scoops and all this. Dude, that ain't your game. But, if that can happen, I believe the Thunder have an opportunity. But it's going to win, number one, from our defense. If you do that, that's going to help us. Because what people don't understand is, number one, well, people might understand. I mean, I'm not going to say that. I take that back. That was not very good for me to say. I'm going to say this. In the last 15 games, the Bucks are 12-3. Guess what the Thunder in the last 15 games? 12-3. Now, here's a key stat. We are 17-2. 17-2 when we started big man. Now, Chet is 17-3, but do we really count Chet? He only played 8 minutes. I can't. Yeah, I don't know. I really can't. I can't do that. Now, here's another stat that just absolutely blew me away. Okay, this stat just when I saw this, I was like, wait a minute, let me read that again. Okay, where is it? I put it in here because when I saw this, I was like, that is just crazy right there. Let me see if I can find it. The Thunder have. Where is it? Okay, here it is. Here's a crazy stat for you. The Thunder currently have more steals than turnovers. Let me say that again. The Thunder have currently more steals than turnovers. We have 292 steals, and we only have 283 turnovers. The feat that has never been close to being achieved by NBA teams since 77, 78 when they started taking those stats. That's crazy to me. That is crazy to me that we have more steals than we do turnovers. That's ultimate in taking care of the basketball. And that's ultimate in taking away. So that's saying that your defense is doing what? Your defense is creating turnovers. Turnovers create what? Fast break baskets. Fast break baskets do what? Turn into flow of the game. And once you get into the flow of the game and you take the other team out of the flow of their game, it makes it easier. So that stat right there is just unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable. I saw that. I'm like, what the hell? Is that right? Yeah. That right there is just a crazy stat to me. So, but anyway, the Thunder, to me, I love our chances tonight. I don't think that the Milwaukee Bucks have run into anything closely to what we are defensively, especially when you got that second group in there with SGA, Kaysen, Caruso, Wiggins, and if you want to go small lineup, you go Dort or you go Kendrick Williams. When you have that lineup in there, dude, it's just they're long, they're athletic, they all understand what everything goes through SGA. You ain't got AJ Mitchell trying to make plays. You ain't got goes through SGA. Now you have Wiggins trying to make a play here and there, and whenever he does that, coach jacks him out, pulls him out. Bro, we need you knocking down threes and playing defense. Dort, we need you knocking down threes and playing defense. Kendrick Williams, we need you playing defense and knocking down threes. Kaysen, we need you playing defense and knocking down threes and getting in transition. Caruso, we need you getting your hands on ball and playing defense. That's what we need. SGA, we need you to get another 30-point night. That's what. Let me see. How has Milwaukee done against Boston this year for a similar team comparison? Well, Boston has beaten them. Milwaukee hasn't beaten anybody really of significance. Really, really good teams. They beat the Magic the other night, John. But part of that was the fact that the Magic didn't have Bankero nor Vance Wagner, and Jalen Suggs went off. So Milwaukee playing against a really, really good team against the Celtics. The Celtics are beating them. So I don't. But this team now, 12-3, they really haven't played anybody, but they're beating everybody and they're getting into a groove, John. So that's what worries me a little bit. But like I said, control Giannis getting to the paint. Number one, try to curtail uh, Dame as much as possible if you can. He's Dame. He's gonna do what Dame does. Okay, so try to curtail him as much as you can. So if we can do that, that's gonna help. But to me, it's the auxiliary guys. That is Green. That is Middleton. That is Portis, and uh, what's my big guy's name? Lopez. Not letting them get into a groove, knocking down threes. If you can do that and they start struggling, and then you got to get Giannis to where he has to. I got to make a play. He just starts ducking his head and going. I'm just gonna physically just get to the basket. But what does the Thunder do? We block shots between SGA, J Dub, Dort, and iHeart. We block shots. In fact, SGA is leading our team in blocks a block a game, which is crazy. How is he how is he leading us in blocks? But that's only because Chet is gone. So the Thunder have a great opportunity to really do something tonight, and I believe, to me, we win tonight. What that does is that gives this team an ability to get to the next level. But it all depends on these two things. Our coach understanding floor of the game, our coach understanding lineups, and our coach getting away from fucking being a minutes manager. Excuse my language. Being a minutes manager. Stop trying to play J-Dub as many minutes as SGA. Go with the flow of the game. You can't you pull SGA, you make him sit for 5 minutes. You make J-Dub sit for 2 minutes. J-Dub is not SGA. Now, that being said, everybody, here's a poll that we did last night on the show, okay? And so I'm gonna put this up here for everybody, those of you who are watching, for you all to really particularly say what you all think, okay? As far as what y'all think where is it? Where's my NBA All Star deals? Okay, here we go. Here's what we did last night on After the Storm. Okay, these are this may not be the guys. Okay, I mean this is just what I put together. Now, these guys could be on different teams or whatever, but this is just me putting together and saying, okay, who would LeBron, if Giannis was the team captain, who is he going to take? Steph, is Steph team captain? So it was almost east-west a little bit, but here's my stats right here, okay? The question is this: who would you take and put in place of J-Dub? Who would you take off so that you put J-Dub on? Now, I'd say the majority of people last night pretty much agreed that people would take off Paul George and replace J-Dub with Paul George. Now, I'd want J-Dub to be on the same team as SGA, just like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. So, who would you guys take off? Now, my guy John Warren had said he'd take off. I think he said Trey. Didn't you say Trey, John? I don't remember who you said. But I know that one of my kids said that they would take off Trey instead of John said he'd take off Bam. Ababayo. That's who he would take off. So anyway, I don't know who you guys would think who you would take off to put J-Dub on. Now, my guy Nathan Taylor last night on After the Storm was like, none of these guys, J-Dub is not better than them. Yeah, you said Bam. Bam, you're right, John. I had forgot. I had to go back and look at our text message. And John said Bam. Now, Bam has played okay this year, 100%. But the question is, I mean, do you really want J-Dub over Bam? Bam can do way more than J-Dub can as far as guarding inside presence. And remember, J-Dub, he would have to guard Jokic. He would have to guard Wemby. He would have to guard Giannis. He would have to guard Cat. So that's what he would have to do as a big. And what I was trying to do is J-Dub is more of a 3. A 1, 2, or 3. So I would have to replace him with a guard, John. This was kind of what we're saying. So that would either be Ja, that would either be SGA, that would either be Ant-Man, that would either be Luka, that would be Steph, that would be Kyrie, that would be Booker, that would be Dame, that would be Brunson, and that would be Donovan Mitchell. So you'd have to replace one of those guys with J Dub. Who would you replace? Now I agree. Paul George is a three, and he's more of a three. So that's who the only guy that I could remotely say that. Yeah. Now is he better than Paul George? No, we're not saying that. But playing as what he's done this year thus far, uh, that's the only guy that I could even remotely say that I would replace him with. Uh, no, he's not replacing a single card on that list. That's why I was saying the only guy that we could possibly say that you can replace is Paul George. Because he's a three. So uh, yeah, that's what we came up with last night. We said Paul George. That's the only guy we could even remotely think of that he could absolutely replace because none of the guards. Yeah, I even had an OU guy today, John, when I posted it on my Instagram and Facebook. A guy said, well, and it was an OU fan. John, he said that he replaced Trey with J Dub. Take Trey off for J Dub. I said, man, I don't know about all that. I would take Paul George, but if I had to take up, Trey's playing really well. He sees the floor, he shoots three. So, yeah, yeah. So that's where we would. That's where we are now. This is not, guys. This is not the actual NBA All Star team. This is Matt's. I should change that to Matt's All Star team. That's what I should change that to, so people can kind of see who they think the Thunder should have and who they don't. But I do like the conversation because that's something that the Thunder are trying to promote now. They're trying to promote J, and people know about J Dub. And the more we're on TV, the more they're going to see him. But that being said, for J Dub to play more minutes than SGA and SGA have 30 and basically win the game for us, but you're promoting J Dub is ridiculous. I don't. I see what you're trying to do down the long run, but I'm like, SGA is the man. Why are you playing this dude at more minutes than your best player? How can you play anybody more minutes than your best player? It makes no sense to me. None whatsoever. We're the only team that happens. So once again, the coach are not understanding lineups, the coach not understanding flow of the game, and the coach being a minutes manager. Those are his three biggest weaknesses and the things that I hate. But on the other side of that, he's fantastic at developing talent. He's fantastic at out-of-bounds plays, calling out-of-bounds plays after timeouts. He's fantastic at those two things, 100%. I can't argue with those because he's really, really good at that. He's really good at those things. Now, it drives the commander crazy when he tries to challenge a play in the first or second quarter. I'm like, why are you Randy says, and I say the same thing. Why are you challenging a play in the first and second quarter? If you're wrong in the end of the game and we need that challenge, we don't have it. Now, if it's clear, that's fine. But if it's dicey, yeah, let that go right now. We don't really, yeah, okay. But it matters late in the fourth quarter in a close game when you can go get a contest. When we need that contest and we don't have it. Now granted he 75% or 80% in his challenges. So yeah, maybe that gives him a little bit of nepotism as far as, I know what I'm doing. But to me, it's worth the consequences of the game and where you're at. And like he called one the other night in the second quarter, I think it was the Mavs game. And Randy right now, we looked at each other like, wow, did you really are you challenging that right here in the second quarter? What for? And in the fourth quarter, we needed the challenge. Even though we overcame it, we needed it then, but he had already lost the challenge because he used it in the second quarter. I don't get it. I understand the fact that he's over 75 or 70% or whatever it is in his challenges. I get that. But I'm like, bro, understand the consequences of the game. Understand where we are. Come on now. And as some of these players, like one of the challenges he's lost one time, I think it was Wiggins or whatever, and I'm like, bro, you hit him on the arm. And you can see it in the replay. And you're getting the coach to challenge that? Now, hell, you know damn well you touched his elbow. You know if you touched somebody or not as a player. I know if I touched you, if I foul you or not. I know if I touched you. It's like last year in Game 6. Why the hell would you challenge that and lose your last timeout with 2 seconds left? Make him make all 3 free throws and then take the ball out at half court and run a play. And you're fantastic at that. But instead, you lose the game for us because of that. Why are you challenging? Ask SGA. Did you foul him? SGA would have said yes. So, anyway, here's the All-Star team to get back to where we are. And I agree, John. And we talked about it last night. I'm not replacing any of the guards. And the only person I can think of maybe is Paul George. It's the only one that kind of even remotely makes sense on who you would replace J Dub with. I just don't. I just don't see anybody else. Now, let's face it. Some of these. Now, I did say this. Now, last night on last night's show, I'm gonna be transparent here. I had Joel Embiid instead of Mobley. And I was talked out of that last night because somebody made some great points. I don't know if it was Rashawn or Hotspot Casino. I don't know who it was last night, but one of them made a great argument for Mobley. So I went ahead and said you're right, and I took Mobley on, put Mobley on, and took Embiid off because Embiid, I don't know if he's even played enough games to even qualify for the All Star game, but once again he'll probably be there. So anyway, that's kind of how I looked at it, and that's where we are when it comes to all of this. So I like I said, the Thunder tonight. I think you guys feel the way I feel that it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a nice momentum builder for us, I think, to send us, propel us up to the rest of the season. So, but our defense is just, it's ridiculous. It really is, truly is ridiculous. Uh, anyway, so that's going to happen. So I'm excited about that and about what we're doing for the Thunder, and I'm excited about tonight and how we're going to do this. So we're going to take a quick break, then we're going to come back and talk about tonight. I want to thank SRB. If you have needs for engineering, surveying, or planning, hit these guys up. They love to be behind the scenes. If you've got a water treatment plant in your city or county and you need fresh, clean water, hit these guys up. They take care of you. Collaborative Logic, if you have needs for computer or software to help make your office run smoother, those are the dudes to holler at. And then Oak Grove Trucking, if you've got needs for dirt, rock, or sand to be moved. I know he's about to add his second truck. So, hey, hit our guys up over there at Elm Grove. And then, of course, YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC. Proud sponsor for us to go out and support women, minority, and black owned businesses in the Oklahoma City area. You can You can pre-qualify online at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. Or going to one of their 5 locations, the main bank, 401 Elm, 66 steps from historic downtown Yukon, Oklahoma. YNB East, which is off the Parkway and 66 or 39th Expressway. YNB Mustang, 218 North Maidstone Road. YNB Parkway, located on Garth Brooks, just south of I-40, right in front of the hospital. Can't not miss it. And, of course, YNB Peoples, located in Bethany on 23rd between Rockwell and MacArthur. And then, of course, last but not least, my guy at Elm Grove Clothing, Jonathan Bickey Triplet. And by the way, if y'all didn't see Big Pert on First Take this morning, that was one of the leisure suits that he made for him. He was on inside the NBA last night with another black. So those are the kind of things that suits that he's kind of doing. You can do leisure, you can do a regular suit that I had for the JFK. But anyway, hit my guy up, man. He's really, really good. He can come into your office or by your house, size you up. Boom. Why spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a suit when you can spend $800 to $1,000? So hit my guy up, Jonathan Bickey Triplet, 405-332-8787. Can't wait for my leisure suit, bro. Can't wait for my suit. Man. It's weird. But anyway, hey, great guy. Hit him up, and he love to take care of you. So now, in NBA scores last night, this is what happened in the league last night. The Sixers took care of the Hornets 121-108. The Heat and the Pistons were in a battle, and of course the Pistons took care of business. And our guy, Cade Cunningham, 125-124. Bulls and Raptors, and another close one. The Bulls got a chance to win, and Josh Giddey making a huge difference, taking that Oklahoma City winning mentality over to Chicago. The Cavs took care of business, 130-101 over the Nets, who are tanking. They're trying to get out. They're trying to get Cooper Flag. That's what they're trying to do. Nuggets and Kings. Nuggets took care of business, 130-116, and then of course the Jazz. That's just. Even though when we were rebuilding, we didn't get beat that bad. And they could have got rid of some guys last year, and they didn't do it. And so now they could have got rid of Laura Marketing, but they wanted too much for him. Danny Ainge just trying to do the Sam Presti blueprint to where I get all these things and I get all these draft picks and I build through the draft. And that's what they're doing. They're trying to build through the draft. And so we'll see how that strategy works out. It worked out great for Sam, for the Thunder, but I don't know how it's going to do for them because remember, the Thunder, this is their second generation of great talents. Remember the first big three: KD, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and then we got to add in Ibaka because Ibaka was a fourth in there. That team was and then we had Kendrick Perkins, and then we replaced him with Steven Adams. So that group of players was strong. Now you trade for SGA, then you bring in Josh Giddey. Then the next draft you get J-Dub and Chet, and then the next draft you get Kaysen, and then the next draft you get AJ. So you have done a great job this time. To me, Sam Presti learned his lesson because the first time he did not draft anything to help us get better that first time around with KD, Russ, and James Harden. He did not fill up the coffers with players who can come in and play. He did not do that first time around. His draft picks were horrible, terrible, okay? But now he has learned how to, okay, we need this piece, this piece. And this is why last night on After the Storm, your OKC Thunder post-game analysis show, we were talking about what the Celtics did and what the Thunder did and how those two mirrored each other. The Celtics had a squad, and what they do? They got rid of Marcus Smart. What did the Thunder do? Got rid of Josh Giddey. What did the Celtics do? They added Drew Holiday, and they added Porzingis. The Thunder, what did they do? They added Hardenstein, and they added Caruso. So the same philosophies or same mentality or same strategies were employed by both of them. Now here's where they differ. The Celtics coach got out coached. So they added NBA veteran coaches to the deal and say, okay, to help him out in those spots. The Thunder did none of that. And they're making the same mistakes that they made last year and the year before and the year before and the year before. And these are the same things he's doing. He does not understand flow of the game. He does not understand lineups, and he's a minutes manager. That's what he is. He is fantastic at developing talent. He is fantastic at understanding out-of-bounds plays and making calls on that. He is outstanding. And then whoever our defensive person is and dialing up defense and putting him in the right position, that's perfect. It's fantastic. But when it comes to lineups, here, and I understand they know what to do because whenever he makes a mistake and playing J-Dub too long, because that's what he does, whenever there's a flow coming, he plays him those 2 minutes too long in the second quarter or the fourth quarter every single time to get his minutes up. It's like, dude, the flow of game is coming, and you put in Kaysen or you put in Dort. No, you put in SGA. And then, like the other night, there was a timeout, and he didn't put SGA in. He waited until the ball got thrown in, then he put SGA in the game. Well, now you just threw away a minute and a half, almost 2 minutes. Why'd you do that? Oh, because that way J-Dub can come out, he can sit for 2 minutes, and their minutes are the same. That's why he did it. I'm like, bro, if you're going to put him in, stick him in now. Why are you going to wait until they throw the ball into play, then you pull him off the bench? Why are you just not playing him right there? It's a timeout. If you're going to put him in the game, put him in the game. Oh, that's right, you're a minutes manager. And people get mad at me. These are facts, guys. I'm not saying anything that's not true. Those are facts. Okay? Those are facts. You go look at it. And like I was telling a friend of mine the other day, when we were at Santa Fe Family Life Center, and I was talking to him about it, I said, listen, he's playing, he doesn't play J-Dub more minutes than SJ. I go, really? And so after the game, I sent him a text. I go, here you go. What was you telling me? What were you telling me about him not playing more minutes? He goes, oh, I go, I'm not saying anything that's not true. This is what he's doing. And you got to explain to me how a guy who is not on the All-Star list, who are guys who are not one of the top 25 players, not one of the top 30 players, not maybe even top 50, yes, top 40 possibly. But there's no way in hell this guy should be playing more than the runner-up MVP last year, should be the MVP this year, should have won it last year, one of the top 5 players in the league, the most unguardable guard in the league. and you're playing somebody more minutes than him off your team who's not as good. Oh, that's right. In your mind, he's going to have more upside than SJ. You're high. There's no way. Is he more physical of a physical presence than him? Yes. He doesn't have the foot speed to guard all five positions. He can guard 3, 4, and 5. For sure, 4 and 5. Sometimes 3, depending on who the player is he's guarding. Number 2, his handles, no, he does not have the handles. Number 3, he tries to make moves and go to the basket, doing stuff that he's never done, and he's trying to recreate what SGA does. You see Dort and them doing the same thing. Y'all aren't them. This guy is SGA is a polished scorer who's trying to turn himself into a shooter as well. And what we talked about before was the difference between a scorer and a shooter is simple. Isaiah Joe is a shooter. People are running him off his spot. So he's trying to become a scorer, a shooter that's a scorer. Okay? SGA is a scorer that's now trying to turn into a shooter, shooting threes and catch and shoot. I saw the stat the other night that he had 12, what did he make? He had 10 shots off dribble makes, which were 12 shots off his most ever in his career. Dribble making thing. I'm dribbling the ball and I'm scoring off the dribble. I'm not catching the ball from anybody else. That's me just scoring. His most in his career. Okay, so now as shooter, as a catcher, I catch the ball and I shoot. That's a shooter. So that's the difference. J-Dub is not that. He is a guy who can catch and shoot, who they're trying to turn into a scorer, just like they're trying to turn Dort into a scorer, just like they're trying to turn Wiggins. Listen, this is what they do. You're a shooter, you're in the league. You do what you do to improve our team. Knock down threes. If you want to pump fake, sidestep, shoot a mid-range, whatever. But trying to go to the basket and do scoops and reverses and spin moves, that's not you. That's what scorers do. You are a shooter. Understand who the hell you are. If you're going to be develop them in college. So that's how it works. Like we talked about the other day with James Harden has the second most threes made of anybody in the history of the NBA. But we don't look at James Harden as a shooter. We look at James Harden as a guy who's a scorer who can shoot. Steph Curry is a shooter that can score. SGA is a scorer that's trying to be a shooter. Those are the differences between the players and what they do. Okay? So now, let's get to the power thing, okay? I did my NBA power rankings. Here are my power rankings. You have the Celtics number 1. You have the Cavs number 2. You have the Thunder 3. You have the Rockets 4. You have the Mavs 5. Then I'm going Grizzlies 6, Magic 7, Bucks 8, Knicks 9, and Nuggets 10. The Nuggets are creeping back up there, slowly but surely. They're getting it together, okay? But this is my power rankings. Now you can move some teams around here and there, but for the most part, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are pretty much there. I don't know if the Bucks, they barely beat the Magic the other night, but I don't know how they'd fare up against the Mavs or the Rockets. And we're going to find out about the Thunder tonight and the Grizzlies, possibly with the Grizzlies. But so that's kind of what I think of these teams, because the Rockets and Thunder, they're the best 2 defensive teams in the league. So we'll see how that works. But here are my power rankings. This is kind of how I'm looking at it. So tonight, you're going to have a great game between the number 3 ranked Thunder against the number 8 Bucks, even though they're both, like I said, 12-3 in their last 15 games. But the Bucks really hadn't played really hardly anybody. And here are the West standings. Now remember, tonight's game does not go against your win-loss. So win or lose, the Bucks and Thunder does not affect their record tonight. Now the other 2 games, yes, affected their record, but this game tonight is a standalone game. It does not go against your record, win or lose. So the Thunder will not be 21-5. The Bucks will not be 14-12 or 15-11. The Thunder will not be 20-6 or 21-5. Tomorrow. The standings will still be the same. So nothing will change after this. Okay. So when you look at the Rockets and the Thunder, we have a 3-game lead over the Grizzlies, and then the Rockets are 3.5. So this is how it breaks down. And then you got the Mavs right in there. You got the Nuggets coming in. So all the teams in the West are starting to come in. The T-Wolves are slowly trying to figure out how they're doing things. In the East, we don't really care because it really doesn't affect us that much unless we're playing a team from the East. But the Bucks have won 3 in a row, 12 out of their last 15, just like the Thunder have. And the guy was trying to tell me a stat last night. I think it was Nathan Taylor telling me a stat last night how the Thunder are 9-1 in their last 10 games. Well, yeah, we know because we lost to the Rockets and we shouldn't have, and we lost to the Mavericks and we shouldn't. So those are games that you shouldn't have lost, that we should have lost, that we should not have lost. But because of coaching and because of what he was doing, his lineups are terrible. He knows what the lineups are. When you need to get stops, you have SGA, Kaysen, Caruso, Wiggins, and K. Rich, or J Dub, or Dort, depending on who's Dort's got a guard. But K. Rich has been stepping in there great as the five. So that's your five. That's when you make all your moves in the second quarter, the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. When you have that group together, you make your moves, whether you place them in the second and the fourth or whatever. But when that group is on there, when SGA, Kaysen, and Caruso, those three, along with whoever you're going to put, whether it's Wiggins, whether it's Dort, whether it's K. Rich, whether it's Isaiah Joe, whatever. But those three together, SGA, Kaysen, and Caruso, and then whoever you want to stick in there, whether it's Joe, like I said, or whether it's Wiggins, or whether it's K. Rich, or whether it's Dort, or whether it's iHeart, whatever you want to stick in there with those three, that's the three to make it go. And the coach knows that because every time he does his 2 minutes too long, as Mark Long used to say at SRB, he used to go 2 minutes too long. That's what he used to call him when he first started getting called, when he first started coaching for Thunder. He goes, 2 minutes too long. And that's what he was. He would stay with the same lineup, 2 minutes too long, because he is a minutes manager, which my guy Nimoy Jones called him. He goes, oh, he's the minutes manager. I'm like, what? He goes, he manages minutes. And then that's when I started looking at that, and we've been calling him the minutes manager because Mark Long would always go, there he is, 2 minutes too long. And once I talked to Nimoy, he set the record straight. He is a minutes manager, and that's what he is. So, Burgess, Dort on Giannis. Hey, Burgess, what's up? Dort on Giannis, SGA on Lillard, Caruso, help for Giannis, J-Dub, closest open offensive player. Yeah, that's in rotation, Burgess. I agree with you 100%. But remember, to start the game, you're going to have SGA, J-Dub, Kaysen, Dort, and iHeart. So you're going to have Kaysen and J-Dub helping on Giannis when he's trying to deal. But like I said, we're going to have to cut him off coming to the middle. If we can do that, then everything else will take care of itself. If we can cut him off and keep him from driving to the basket and cut off the points in the paint. Because remember, we are number one in the league in points and giving up points in the paint. Just the FYI, we're going to throw that back up for everybody so they can kind of see what I'm talking about here. Team stats. We're number one, okay, in giving up points, 103.5. We're number one in field goal percentage against the opponents, 42.6. We're number two in giving up 33.9% three-point percentage, number two. Points in the paint, we're number one, 41.8 points per point in the paint per game. Assists, we're fourth. And assist means we're only giving up 24 assists a game on average, which means opponents aren't really being able to score off assists because we're in opponent's face. We're not giving up a bunch of easy shots. So that's what that means. Turnovers. We're number one in taking care of the ball. And we're number one in taking away the ball. So we're number one in turnovers with 11.8. And we're number one in taking the ball away from our opponents at 19-1. Those are the stats. Now, what kills us is that next stat, offensive rebound with 30th. Now, I didn't highlight it because I'm highlighting all our good points. That's why I didn't highlight that. And then, of course, second quarter, we're on averaging 26.3, giving up 26.3 points a game. We're third in the league, and then 25.2. We're second in the league. So those stats right there are what are the thing for us. Now, here are our next 10 games, which I know that Burgess is happy about this because I think Burgess is going to the next game, which is Thursday, right? Next game is Thursday, right, Burgess? Isn't that the game you're going to? At the Magic, 6 o'clock, TNT, another TV game. So we'll be on TV for the Mavs. We'll be on national TV for the Rockets. We're on national TV tonight for the Bucks. And then we'll be on national TV again for the Magic on Thursday. So this is a great run for the Thunder to really get several things. One, it gives us exposure, okay, out there in the public because people don't know who we are. And I think they need to know who SJ is. They need to know who the Thunder is. Where's Oklahoma City? Go look at your map. Oh, it's right there. Yes, come to our city. We have a beautiful convention center. We have great restaurants. We have nice hotels. We have great entertainment. You can go to Bricktown. You can go to Uptown. You can go to Midtown. You can go to Western. You can go to Cats over off of 64th and Classen. There's all kinds of places for you to be able to go and have fun. Okay, we have nice beer bars. We have nice bar clubs. We have country places that you can go to. We have all these different things that you can go to in downtown Oklahoma City, Bricktown Oklahoma City, Midtown Oklahoma City, uh, Uptown Oklahoma City. And then, like I said, of course, one of my favorite places, Cats. So there's all kinds of things for people to do. So the fact that we're on TV, national TV, 4 straight games in a row, which is in the NBA Cup, which was these last 3, plus the next one is against the Magic, which we should handle that. So I like where Oklahoma City is positioned. I just need for our coach to understand they're trying to promote J Dub. Is what they're trying to do. They're trying to get J Dub more exposure. But J Dub is what? J Dub is the number 3 guy on this team behind Chet when Chet comes back. But right now he's the 2. But you need to be promoting SGA and the Thunder instead of J-Dub first. He's doing interviews. He's this. The Thunder have got him all out there. He ain't the face of your damn franchise. That would be SGA. Once again, the Thunder are doing what the Thunder does. It just blows me away. So, anyway, tonight, guys, be ready. 7:30 p.m. on ABC. Have your Thunder stuff ready. I know I'm going to be ready watching the game. We're going to be at Rococo to watch the game there, and then we're going to do our show tonight at Rococo after the game. So, that being said, hey, everybody have a fantastic day. Enjoy this beautiful weather.